I am Suprit, and today I will show how ancient Indian trade routes built the first global supply chain. Hi, I am Suprit Nala. Today I will show how ancient trade routes built the first global supply chains and why those lessons matter for modern logistics. Most people believe that global supply chain is a product of the 20th century, an invention of container ships and digital tracking. But history tells a different story. 4,000 years before the term was ever coined, India was the architect of a trade network that spanned three oceans and five distinct eras. From precisely engineered docks of the Harappans to the blue water navy of the Chola Empire, India didn't just participate in trade, it generated the value that powered the ancient world. Today, we are diving into the file to uncover how these ancient trade routes weren't just paths for goods, but the very blueprint for modern logistics. We will explore hundreds of commodities and logics that remains timeless. Look at this marketplace. It captures the point of origin for modern logistics. You see the transition from sea to land, what we call intermodal transport. Today, notice the merchants inspecting textiles. They created the world's first standardized weight system, a binary logic that reduced transaction friction across 1.5 million square kilometers. They even built the world's first tidal dock at Lothal, a feat of hydraulic engineering that allowed ships to bypass mudflats, the ancient version of just-in-time scheduling. The birth of connectivity long before digital tracking and container ships, global commerce replied on the physical congregation of diverse cultures. The silk, spices, and ceramics seen here didn't just move products, they moved technologies, languages, religions, creating the first truly global network. 2600 to 19,000 BCE, the Harappan blueprint, world's first standardized trade system. Long before Rome paved roads or China built its Great Wall, the Indus Valley civilization had already engineered the world's first cities. They were nodes in a trade network stretching from today's Afghanistan to Persian Gulf. The genius was in standardization. Archaeologists have recovered uniform stone weight in ratios of 1 is to 2 is to 4 is to 8 is to 16, a binary system that made transactions seamless across 1.5 square kilometers. Clay sealed goods, postscript stamps, functioning as the ancient world's earliest bills. Goods flowed westward. Carnelian beads, lapis lazuli, cotton textiles, and copper tools. In return came silver, tin, and cider, wood from Mesopotamia. The port of Lothal featured a tidal dock, a feat of hydraulic engineering that allowed ships to load and unload without grounding them on the mudflats. Modern parallel Amazon fulfillment centers operate on the same principle standardized bins, barcode identity, predictable routing. The Harappan did this with fire, clay, and a writing system we still cannot fully decipher. And the northern corridors. Moving north, Kashmir served as a mountain pass nexus where the subcontinent met Central Asia. While we often think of the Silk Road as Chinese, India was its centrifugal heart. We didn't just export raw ore, we exported value added goods. Indian wool's steel was so advanced it became the legendary Damascus blades, and Roman emperors claimed that India was draining Rome's gold reserves to pay for luxury cotton and pepper. Kashmiri saffron wools shawls from Fatima fields and dried fruits, moved northeast toward Kashgar and then on the Sharmkand. Silk glazed ceramics and bronze goods flowed back. The Kushan Empire, 1st to 3rd century C, essentially monetized this junction, minting bilingual gold coins to facilitate cross-culture exchange. India and the Silk Road. The conventional narrative of Silk Road is misleading. It was never a single road, and the silk was not only cargo. India sat not at the periphery, but at the centrifugal heart of the network. The Periplus of Istrian Sea, a Greek merchant's manual, lists Indian ports with astonishing detail. Bharuch, Kerala, Pondicherry. Roman emperors complained that gold was draining into India. Pliny estimated Rome's annual trade deficit with India at 50 million sesterces. They operated through merchant guilds, ancient joint stock corporations that shared risk and capital across global diaspora. The Cholas' maritime empire. India's naval superpower and mercantile genius, the Chola dynasty did something unprecedented in ancient world. They built a blue water navy not for conquest alone, but as a commercial instrument. Their 1025 century expedition against Sumatra is often described as a raid, but it was fundamentally a trade route enforcement operation, eliminating a middleman who was taxing Indian goods, transiting Strait of Malacca. Chola ports, Nagapattinam, Kaveripattinam, Mahabalipuram were just not loading docks. They were sophisticated entrepôts with merchant guilds that operated as a joint stock operations, pooling capital, sharing risk, and maintaining agents across Southeast Asia and China. Song Dynasty China records Chola tribute missions bearing pepper, cotton, rhinoceros horn, and aromatic wood. The Tamil merchant guilds had permanent warehouses in ports from Aden to Guangzhou. Inscriptions in Tamil script have been found in China, Vietnam, and Malaysia, proof of sustained commercial diaspora. The monsoon merchant. Indian Ocean monsoon was not a weather phenomenon, it was a scheduling system. Ancient Indian navigators discovered that southwest monsoon reliably carried sheep from Arabian Peninsula to Indian west coast, while northeast monsoon reversed the journey. This seasonal regularity created what historians called the monsoon trading system, the world's first predictable large-scale logistics. Kerala pepper was so valuable that Roman soldiers were partially paid in it. The Arabic word for pepper entered European languages as black gold, cinnamon from Sri Lanka, cloves from Molucca Island, and cardamom from Western Ghats. From the spicy supply chain, European powers would later go to war over why India traded and why it mattered. Spices. India supplied 95% of the ancient world supplies spices. Pepper alone financed entire city-states. Textiles. Roman writers marveled Indian cotton was so fine it appeared woven from air. Metals. Wood steel was the ancestor of Damascus blades, unmatched in hardness and flexibility. Gems. India was only known diamond source until 1725. Golconda mines supplied Mughal courts and European crowns. Aromatics. Indigo from India colored textile across the Roman Empire and medieval Europe, so prized it was blue gold. Knowledge. The number zero decimal system and trigonometry traveled the same trade routes as goods, arguably India's highest value export. Ancient wisdom, modern architecture, then versus now, supply chain analysis, Harappan uniform weight and seals, ISO standards plus passcodes, impact, reduced transaction friction from 1 mile plus kilometer square. Ancient Indian concept, local tidal dock timing, modern equivalent, just-in-time delivery windows, impact, zero idle ship time. Tamil dispose of port agents, modern equivalent, third-party logistics provider, impact. Local knowledge plus global coordination at low overhead. The routes that changed European history. The fall of Constantinople did not cut off the Silk Road. That is a historical myth. It raised Ottoman transit taxes. European rulers, frustrated by this markup on Indian spices, funded exploitative voyages to find a direct sea route. Vasco da Gama reached Calicut in 1498 and was told irritably by the local ruler that Arab and Indian merchants had been trading here for centuries. Portugal's strategy was not discovery, it was interception. By seizing Hormuz, Goa, and Malacca, the Portuguese tried to convert India's maritime network into European monopoly. They failed to fully capture it, but disrupted the Arab-Indian commercial axis that had operated for 15,000 years. Across all 5 cases, the same design pattern repeats. Synthesis, ancient foundations in today's global supply chain. The enduring lesson for modern supply chains is that performance is not only about faster transport, it is about coordination. Ancient system improved reliability by structuring networks into stages, building trust mechanisms, and aligning schedules to predictable cycles. Conclusion. What ancient trade routes teach us about global commerce. Infrastructure strategy. From local docks to Chola ports, India's trade dominance was built on physical infrastructure. The lesson logistics capability precedes commercial dominance, true for Amazon, FedEx, and Alibaba. Network beats nation. No single empire controlled the entire route. Merchant guilds, dispersed network, and trust-based relationship sustain trade across political boundaries. Exactly how modern global supply chain operates. Natural system as logistics. The monsoon was not a constraint; it was a schedule. Modern supply chains increasingly use natural and algorithmic rhythms, seasonal demand peaks, weather routing for same efficiency gains. The rules are ancient. The logic is timeless. Thank you.
Let's get ready to spin that Pokestop. And now, here's more. And now you'll get one absolutely free.
Live from Pokemon Go Fest. Confirmed sites of Mewtwo have captured trainers' attention.